All righty. Well, welcome everybody. We're sitting in this lovely center. Why don't you tell us the name since I tend to mess it up? I'm sitting here with Delicious Spencer, who is also known as Peace, and we are in the Love and Peace Wellness Center. I think I got that
Yes,
right.
you
Did I
got
get
it.
it
That's it. That's it.
right?
To find peace, you must first love, and that's our motto.
Beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
And the first person you have to love
Mhm.
is yourself.
Yourself. Yeah.
So, we were having a conversation before we sat down together, and we were talking about that really everything that we need is right inside,
Yes.
and that all of these lovely instruments and the centers where people can gather in community are really special and needed and wonderful. But guess what? All you really need is yourself. And as far as I know, you take yourself with you wherever you go, and you have a beating heart and breath.
Mhm.
And so, although the instruments that we have between us, which are pretty significant,
Yes.
what we've got,
Mhm.
I just wanted to encourage you to go within and think about the love and the joy that you have within yourself. And so we were talking, Spencer and I, or I'll call you Peace, we were talking about how important it is to really go within and love yourself. So I want to ask you, because you're obviously, you've created this beautiful center here, and what brought you to sound healing?
Well, it's a long story, like many of these stories are when you get into things such as sound healing or meditation or yoga. But I'll do my best to sum it up and point out the main key features and things that were significant in my life that brought me here. And the first beginning of my interest in sound wasn't in a sound healing or sound therapy perspective or approach. It was actually when I was very, very young, and it started with music. Music was my passion and still is my passion, and is literally a part of my DNA. And I was 4 years old, and my mother bought me a bongo drum, which I still have. And that instrument just took me somewhere. I put my hands and I played it, and it was like a revisiting home for the first time in a long time. And once I got that feeling, I never wanted it to leave. So I started to explore different instruments, different types of music, jazz, classical. I even played every instrument within a marching band and a drum line, and I don't know how to play those all today, but I did at one time know how to play them all when I was practicing and I was active in the marching band from elementary school. We had a
Mm-hmm.
drum line. And as I grew older, different things in life happened which kind of pushed me away from music and showed me, oh, well, money is more important. You should do this because that makes the most money. And that led me to high school, which I played football and was going to go to college for it, but I got injured. If it weren't for that, I would probably be in the NFL playing football. But I believe in life's destinies and things happening for a reason, and it was all predestined. And I was actually in the band elective or music class when I was in high school, and the music director was just very discouraged because I played football and I couldn't be in the band and play football because the band performs at the football game. And
Right.
it really, like, he was like, you're so good, and you're natural. And I still don't know how to read music. I've never read music. I've made an attempt, but it just doesn't resonate with me to where I understand it yet. It's of course somewhere where I would love to, and it would make everything easier to learn how to read music. Everything would just come easier knowing all the different notes and where they apply. But just letting you know that everywhere that I've been and where I am now has come from just natural spirit and the gift of sound and being able to hear and knowing that, oh, I can tell you, like, play this da 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 da, but I don't know what notes those are, but I can tell you, oh, that's no, change that to like a instead of a
Yeah, that's
And
something that we have in common. We were talking about this. I too started very, very young, at about the age of 3 or 4. I do not read music, even though I have taught music to young children and, been a jazz and blues singer. And basically, it's that listening. And, I think it's important to think about this, is that a lot of people have shared with me that they feel that they can't sing and they don't have a voice. And my voice teacher in New York City, who was an angel of a soul, he said, you know what? If you can speak, you can sing. People may not want to pay you for it, but you do have the ability. And guess what? It's really about opening your heart and listening to the symphony of the universe. I mean, I've always believed we were sung into existence. So, it's a similar journey. And to think about the things that brought you joy as a child, because a lot of times along the way as life happens, we get taught about, we're born really knowing everything. We come into this world complete and utter, completely plugged in to everything. And then we slowly get taught how to limit ourselves and, all the things that we can't do, or no, don't do that. And so I would encourage everyone, including I do it myself, is to remember what it means to be a child and remember those things that bring you joy.
Yes.
So, did you grow up in this area, or did you get transported back
here? Well, I originate with a few of the instruments. I'm like out of this world, but I actually love African music and instruments, and the dancing as well. I absolutely love it so much, and I resonate a lot with Africa, even though I am not directly from Africa. I wasn't born in Africa. My family is from Africa, but not my direct family, from lineage and ancestors. But I definitely was born here in Fort Lauderdale, in Plantation, which is like the center that I'm at. That's the closest hospital to where we are at Love and Peace Wellness, is Plantation Hospital.
That's so funny.
So I am literally like in the same orbital field as where I was born, and whatever the energy that was brought me right back here. I went to school in Tampa at the University of South Florida, and there I studied public health, and that's where my interest for health and wellness started. And from there, I did a few things with the government, working for the Center for Disease Control and working for nonprofits, helping with nutrition and fitness and farming, local food. And all of that was great, and I still love it so much. But I wanted to get deeper into, okay, what we put in our body is important. What we, preventing medicine and being able to take holistic alternatives are better for us, for our body in the long run as well. But what's deeper than that? How is the mind controlled? How does our mind play a factor in our health and well-being? What is stress? Why is stress so important? And how can stress eventually make someone terminally ill and kill them, possibly if they become too stressed? How is that so powerful? How is the mind so powerful? And how does sound play into that? And I thought about music artists such as Michael Jackson, Bob Marley. You can go on forever and ever. Luther Vandross, Elvis Presley, James Brown, Stevie Wonder. It's so many greats that have just sang on a microphone or made music. Orchestra, I love orchestra music, all types of music, jazz. I wanted to know why music makes you feel different ways. Why you listen to heavy metal, rock and roll? Does it make you jump up and down and go crazy and shake your hair? And then why is that different from when you listen to jazz, if it's all sound? How does that sound make you make you want to dance so much when it's like you can't control it, you just have to dance? Or it makes you just calm down
and relax.
You vent and cry from music. You get happy from music. Listen to if you're angry. Why is that? And then I started to study. Okay, sound is just vibration. Everything in the universe is vibrating at certain frequencies.
And we are vibration.
And we are vibration. And that led me to sound therapy. And wow, well, if I hit this drum, if I play a bowl, if I do these different things, I can help someone who needs to heal from a certain trauma, or needs to has insomnia and wants to rest their mind to be able to rest that part of their body. They need to be rooted. They're all over the place. They're in their head too much. They need to be grounded and rooted and confident in who they are, helping with the root chakra. Hey, let me play some drum and let me play some root singing bowl for you with some binaural beats in the headphones, and get you to that place to where it can help to balance that. And it just led me down this wormhole of science and how sound and hertz frequencies match, and how our heart has a different hertz frequency from our liver, our spleen. Every organ has a different vibration.
It has a different vibration.
Here I am,
absolutely.
Learning and learning and learning and learning so much from you, and just today in this experience that we're having.
And it's really fascinating to me. Thank you, by the way. And we were talking a little bit like how you can hear 3 notes of a song.
Yes.
And you're immediately transported. I mean, it's like you just astral travel back to that moment. And I don't care how young or old you were, you're back in that memory. You can smell it and taste it and feel what the emotions that were going on. And sound is the most profound. It is what and who we are. And everything has sound. It isn't just humans. I mean, trees have a cadence and sound. The wind, the grass growing. I mean, I don't want to... And, we get a little woo-woo-woo sometimes, but there is a science to this that goes really deep. And what I find fascinating is the combination of the metaphysical woo-woo and the science of sound, and how it just can take us to a place of divinity in ourselves, in our souls, and it can just lift the whole universe. And one of the things that I find so joyful is that it's beautiful to impact people with sound and playing instruments. It's also a gift to those who play. And so we find more about ourselves and who we are and how we are connected to each other, because one of the things that I have figured out, we live in a world with a lot of noise. There's a lot of wah, 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 wah. And that noise can really paralyze you, especially when you can't sleep at night, like you said, or you're not feeling well, or you have a big decision to make. And sound can really help you to ride the waves of change. And because here's one thing I know for sure. We have zero control over the chaos that comes into our life. What we do have is a choice about how we respond to it. So in your experience here at the center, would you say for people who have maybe never ventured into meditation or sound, where would you suggest that they begin if they're looking to seek something?
Well, I would suggest, if you have never practiced any form of meditation, I would say try to just focus on one specific thing that you enjoy. You don't have to sit in lotus pose. Even me and my knee injury from football won't allow me to do that. And that doesn't mean that you will never reach the enlightenment or all these different things, because that's all subjective to the person and their life experience. Don't base yourself off of anyone else's practice of meditation, because meditation is simply living life in the moment.
And breathing.
And that is so important, because we have to breathe to be here. So it's, I would tell them to focus. If it's a book, like reading, just focus on reading a book. That's meditation, because your mind is focused on that singular thing. Start by, I do this with a lot of people that I work with, focus on the breath. So close the eyes, and if you have anxiety, some people can't really close their eyes because their mind races. Just look at something. Look at a beautiful picture, or look at, a painting, or the wall, or even, a moving ocean YouTube video, and just focus on the breath. Just bring your mind to the breath. And I tell them that the mind is going to think, because that's what it was created to do. So don't try to make your mind blank. Your mind will naturally move to a stillness when it feels comfortable. But trying to force it there, it's going to be forced to think of all these other things to not make it blank. And when you breathe and focus on that inhale and exhale, feel the lungs expand and feel the body fill with oxygen and feel the sensation of the skin and the air going through your nostrils as you inhale and exhale. And if those thoughts come, I tell them to imagine clouds. And if you ever sat in the grass in the park and looked up at the clouds and they just pass by, you see blue sky and then you'll see one cloud and you'll be like, oh, that's a nice cloud. That looks like a duck. And you just stare at it. And then eventually that cloud floats by and it's blue sky again. That's the mind. The blue sky is what you want to be at. The clouds are thoughts. What am I going to do today? What am I going to eat tonight? What time do I have to pick up my kids? Oh my gosh, I still didn't do that. Oh, I'm behind on this bill. And your mind's going to automatically be programmed to do that because of the world we live in and the society. It's so overwhelming. They make you think. Oh, you have to do this. You're always behind. You're never ahead. You always have something to do. So think about those thoughts and focus. Okay, phone bill. Notice that you're breathing and inhaling. And the thought of paying your phone bill. Oh, am I late on my phone bill? Oh my. Just notice, like, wow, take that and wow, I'm thinking about my phone bill. Okay, let me move my mind back to breathing. Acknowledge that you're thinking about your phone bill and then let it go and release it. Don't try to blank out your mind because it makes it even more.
Just for if you whatever you whatever you force,
so that's a good technique that I use. Focus on the breath and then imagine the thoughts as clouds and give it attention, but don't or acknowledge but don't give attention. Acknowledge your thought. Wow, I'm thinking about what I have to cook for dinner. Let me bring my mind back to the breath and it'll just fade away. If you keep your mind on the breath, and eventually you'll notice that, wow, I've been focusing on my breath for 10 minutes and I haven't had one thought.
And in the beginning, when you start practicing, I say often to people that I know and my clients that, you know, if it's 1 minute that you can allow yourself, like a lot of times I would start implementing things when I was already doing things, because as a young mom with kids, it was crazy. There was always more to do than time to do it in. And so what do I do every day? I brush my teeth, I take a shower. So I would start doing things in the shower and while I was brushing my teeth so that I could integrate. And, you know, that's what I did. That doesn't mean I'm telling everybody to do that, but if you can just give yourself the gift of even 1 minute. You know, sometimes we say, I can't get to the gym because I don't have the 20 minutes and I don't have the time to get dressed and undressed and drive there and all of that. But you do, you take yourself and your breath with you wherever you go. So if you can just stop for a moment and give yourself that love, that time to just be.
Yes.
And to just let come through whatever's coming through. And like you said, you think about the phone bill, okay, let it go.
Let it go.
You know, I just call that kind of monkey mind stuff. It comes in to challenge you to see, oh, are you going to follow me or are you going to follow your heart?
Exactly. And for those at work, another thing that I suggest, because I used to do this at work when I had a 9-to-5 job, a lot of people say they don't have time. Well, maybe you have 3 kids, and maybe the first thing you know when you wake up in the morning, you have to make sure you get the kids up. You have to make sure you get them ready. You have to do this, do that, and then you're zooming to work. You're in rush hour. You can't meditate then because that's all the stress of that. And then you get there, and the boss is like, "All right, we need you to do this. We need you to do that." And then you got to pick up your kids. You got soccer practice, this, and it's like, "Oh, well, I don't have time." Well, it doesn't take, like you said, very long. 1 minute is good. It's better than none. And it goes very, very far. And also, the important thing that I tell those that have 9-to-5 jobs to do is go to the bathroom. You're allowed to go to the bathroom at most jobs and use that bathroom and that
And they
stall.
usually have great acoustics.
Oh, yeah. You great. Go in that bathroom and use that bathroom stall and sit on the toilet or just stand in the stall, or if you have, just look in the mirror, whatever you feel comfortable doing, and just sit there and put a timer on your phone for 3 minutes and just focus on the breathing in the bathroom. What are they going to say? Hey, you were in the bathroom for 5 minutes, you're fired? No, it's no way. Everyone is allowed to go to the bathroom, and usually the bathroom is a very sacred and quiet place because most people are in there and they're not making noise if they do come. So you're able to focus the mind if anyone even comes in, because if it's at your job, it's probably not a public type of bathroom.
Right.
So use that,
and I have one other suggestion. This is something, at least for me, that I find is really great, is if you can have a simple statement when you open your eyes in the morning before you're getting to the job and going to the kids and all of that, and at night when you go to bed, right before you go to sleep, to just in the morning say, I greet this day with, healing hands and a loving heart, or whatever it is that resonates. Thank you for this breath, this moment, this day, because it is a precious gift.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, to just take a second before you go to sleep at night and think about how wonderful, like the wonder of the day. I'm sure there can be a lot of chaos and not so fun stuff in the day too, but you know what? Find the joy. Because what we focus on is what we draw into our lives.
Yes. Oh, that is beautiful. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for having me in your beautiful center and for playing with me. And I look forward to exploring some more sound and love and light with you. I think it's really a beautiful space, and I encourage anyone who's in the area to please reach out. You have a website, right?
Yes, loveandpeacewellness.com is the website, and Instagram, Love and Peace Wellness, and Facebook, Love and Peace Wellness Center. As well. So reach out to us. We're also on Google. If you Google Love and Peace Wellness Center, you'll find all of our information there. And we do doula services here. We do things for women's wellness and reproductive health. We do sound baths. We do meditation. We host a space for rental if you want to host a yoga class or a lecture on food and nutrition. We have a projector screen that we have available. We just wanted to open this space up for a community center that is able to educate the community surrounding Fort Lauderdale, and to have a place where people could come and actually benefit themselves and their friends and anyone who they're in contact with about the alternatives to life, and not that the traditional medical system is failing, but it is in a sense of we still have people that aren't happy, people that are suffering from sicknesses and medications and things that just give us side effects, that there are alternatives, and we want to be able to let people know that you can have a herb tea that is very low cost and have limiting, if any, side effects, and work just as well as the conventional medicine to help you keep things under control. Or if you're having things like, especially mainly for things like insomnia, depression, anxiety, ADHD, these are things that are clinically diagnosed and medically diagnosed, and are given medications that are so damaging. And really with insomnia and post-traumatic stress syndrome, different things like that, they can be helped so much, and they can be healed, I believe, definitely from sound. And I'm pretty sure with you working with senior citizens, with kids and all the likes, myself as well, you've seen that it definitely helps, even with autism and things like that in the young kids.
And here's the really cool thing is that it doesn't hurt. So, if you use it in conjunction with whatever you're doing, just notice that there may be a way to take you from here to there in a loving and supportive way that isn't going to hurt you.
Right.
And so I say keep an open mind and keep an open heart, because there's many ways to get to our destination. We just have to find the path that works for us.
Oh, well, thank you so much again
Thank
for
you.
choosing Love and Peace Wellness Center. You're, of course, welcome anytime, and it's been amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Can I give you a hug?
Of course.
And just because I generally do this, I'm going to invite you to bring your palms together and inhale deeply. I love you so.